In a small town nestled deep within the mountains, there was a secluded inn known for its eerie history. The locals spoke in hushed tones about the chilling events that had taken place there years ago. Legend had it that the inn was once a haven for a group of nefarious criminals who specialized in a terrifying crime, the Kidney Heist. It was a stormy night when a weary traveler named Sarah found herself seeking refuge at the inn. She had been driving for hours, and the relentless rain had made the roads treacherous. With no other options in sight, she reluctantly pulled into the inn's dimly lit parking lot. As Sarah entered the lobby, a sense of unease washed over her. The receptionist, an elderly woman with a cold demeanor, assigned her a room on the top floor. The creaking floors and flickering lights only added to the eerie atmosphere, but Sarah dismissed her growing unease as mere paranoia. Hours passed, and the storm showed no signs of abating. In her room, Sarah lay in bed, unable to sleep. It was then that she heard faint footsteps outside her door. She sat up, her heart racing, as the sound grew louder, closer. Suddenly, a knock echoed through the room. "Who's there?" Sarah's voice quivered as she called out. "It's the innkeeper. There's been a power outage, and we're checking on all the guests," came a muffled reply from the other side of the door. Relieved, Sarah opened the door slightly, only to be met by two shadowy figures dressed in dark clothing. Before she could react, a cloth was placed over her mouth, and her vision blurred as she lost consciousness. Sarah awoke in a dimly lit room, her head throbbing. As her vision cleared, she realized she was lying on a cold, metal table. Panic surged through her as she tried to move, only to discover that her hands and feet were tightly bound. The room seemed like a makeshift medical facility, with strange instruments lining the shelves. A man in a surgical mask and gloves entered the room, his eyes gleaming with malevolence. He explained in chilling detail how they were part of a sinister syndicate that harvested organs from unsuspecting victims. Their trade was highly illegal, and they had been operating under the cover of the inn for years. Sarah's heart raced as she listened to the man's cold explanation. She begged and pleaded for her release, but her pleas fell on deaf ears. The man's gloved hand approached her, and Sarah felt a sharp pain in her side as he prepared to remove her kidney. Just as the man was about to make the incision, a deafening crash echoed through the room. The door burst open, revealing a group of police officers who had received an anonymous tip about the inn's illegal activities. Chaos erupted as a fierce gunfight ensued, ending with the capture of the criminals. Sarah was rescued and rushed to a hospital, where she received medical attention. Her harrowing experience at the inn left her scarred both physically and emotionally. The criminals were brought to justice, and the inn was forever tainted by its dark past. To this day, the locals warn travelers to avoid the inn at all costs, sharing the terrifying tale of the Kidney Heist as a cautionary reminder of the horrors that once lurked within its walls.